What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're recapping the championship games, the NFC championship game, the AFC championship game. Both games I had wrong. I had the Saints and Chiefs making it to the Super Bowl, and the Rams and Patriots will now face off in the Super Bowl. It's going to be a rematch for Tom Brady. Just like last year, Tom Brady wound up facing the Philadelphia Eagles last year and lost when he beat them back when Donovan McNabb was still, Andy Reid was still there in Philadelphia. So let's talk about the Rams and the Saints. Guys, this is one of the better games. Obviously, both of these games were awesome. They both went to overtime. It's awesome to see that. We love more football, especially in playoff time. We love to see more football. But, I mean, the Saints got robbed in every way imaginable. This was ridiculous. I hated they ended this game. Nickell Robey-Coleman, as you guys know, had 2 penalties on that call. That was no calls. I mean, you can see the picture. I may put the picture up. NFL Memes IG posted it. But, I mean, it had all 3 refs going incomplete. Nickell Robey-Coleman, clearly, who played a good game before that, played himself a decent game before that. I'll give credit to him there. But before the ball even got there, he rammed right into him. That's an immediate pass interference call, a defensive pass interference call. On top of that, it was helmet to helmet. I mean, that should have been 2 penalties right there, none of which were called. So the Saints got robbed there, and I'll tell you right now, I know I don't like to blame stuff on the refs. I really rarely do that. This game was clearly the refs doing. The Rams won because of the refs. The Saints were already in field. They were in the 10. They would have been in the 5-yard line if the penalty was called there. They would have been in the 5. They would have ran the clock down. It was under 2 minutes left to go in the game, so the 2-minute warning is gone. The Rams, I believe, had 1 timeout, so they would have called the timeout. The Saints would have took a knee until the clock run down, and Will Lutz would have either that or they would have scored a touchdown, of course, at the 5-yard line, but. Best scenario for the Rams is the clock is ran all the way down and the field goal is kicked by Will Lutz, and that's game right there. 26-23, no overtime. That's how it should have been. Either that or the Saints would have had that penalty call, been in the 5-yard line and scored a touchdown there. Then the game would have been over, and it would have been 30-23, and the game would have been over. But no, they kick a field goal, and then the clock runs down, and they go to overtime, and then the Rams wind up winning it. Now, you can't give an excuse there for the Saints in overtime, and the Saints, they really didn't come out on offense in overtime. Drew Brees just threw one up, risking it for the biscuit, and he wound up getting intercepted by John Johnson, and that was basically game there. They were already almost in field goal range there, and Greg the Leg isn't really going to miss a crazy field goal like Cody Parkey would. But Greg the Leg's a great kicker, and they got the win there. They're moving on to the Super Bowl. Rams now have the youngest quarterback ever to make a Super Bowl. That's Jared Goff. I believe he's 23 years old, 22 years old, something like that. He's young, man, and he's going to be going to the Super Bowl. And congrats to Jared Goff, man. Congrats. A lot of people were saying that he wasn't even the best quarterback. He's like the 3rd best quarterback in that draft, besides Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott, and he was the number 1 overall pick. So congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams. Congratulations to Jared Goff, or a lot of people like to call him Ryan Gosling, making the Super Bowl. But guys, man, I mean, this was a really good game. I mean, Jared Goff started late. He didn't really get his groove on until the end of the game, but he threw some great passes at the end. He finished 25 of 40, 297 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Had a quarterback rating. They also put QBR and quarterback rating. So had a quarterback rating of 83 and a QBR of 75. You've got Drew Brees here. 26 of 40, 249 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Had a QBR of 60 and a quarterback rating of 88.4. We look at C.J. Anderson. The running game was non-existent for Todd Gurley. I think he was hurt. I don't know what happened to Todd Gurley. He only had 4 touches this game. As far as the running game goes, he only had 4 touches. C.J. Anderson carried the rock most of the time. 16 carries, 44 yards. Relatively did nothing. Great job for the Rams. I called this out towards the end of the season. I was like, what are the Rams going to do when it comes to playoff time and they can't run the ball because you've got the Saints that are number one in rushing defense, and they showed that today. What are they going to do? How are they going to defeat adversity? Jared Goff isn't the same without Todd Gurley, and Jared Goff performed fine. He started off pretty slow. He wanted to get the run game going. He was getting a little nervous. He was, throwing balls, being a little gunslinger at times because he was always under pressure. But, he did well against adversity, and he got the job done. So congratulations to the Rams. But I don't know what happened to the New Orleans rushing attack. They have one of the most potent rushing attacks in the NFL. And the Rams really struggle against the run, even though they have Ndamukong Suh, Michael Brockers, and Aaron Donald there in the front. And they have some good linebackers. I don't know why they weren't able to stop the run all year, but here they were able to stop the run here, holding Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara to 31 yards and 15 yards respectively. So great job there by the Rams front. Receiving, Alvin Kamara leads the way, 11 receptions, 96 yards. Brandon Cooks on the other side, 7 receptions, 107 yards. The only touchdowns were for Garrett Griffin. I believe he's one of the tight ends there. And he was like number 45, that tight end. And then, for both teams, as far as the secondary goes, did not play a very good game. Demario Davis on the linebacking core for the New Orleans Saints had a very good game. P.J. Williams, Eli Apple surprisingly played pretty well in that game, but P.J. Williams did not play very well. And then on the other side, the secondary for the Rams didn't play very well until the end of the game when it really mattered, and that's, I guess, when it really matters because they're going to the Super Bowl. So let's now move on to the New England Patriots defeating the Kansas City Chiefs 37-31 in overtime. I want to also thank whoever was in the live chat with me during this game. I called this game. I want to thank you guys so much for that. It was a great live. You guys were awesome. You kept the chat rolling and things like that, and it was awesome. So thank you guys for that. But moving on to the New England Patriots versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I thought the Chiefs would win this game, and I kind of knew the way it was going. Everybody guessed it, a shootout. It kind of started off a little slow, but it picked up towards the end. Did I think the Patriots were going to win? I didn't think so, but I knew it was a possibility just because the Chiefs' defense is so trash. They played really well through this game. The Chiefs' defense actually surprised me a lot in this game. They had a red zone interception where the New England Patriots offense were at the 5 or 3 yard line, or maybe at the 1 yard line. Tom Brady play action, throws it across the middle of the field, the middle of the end zone, and was picked off by Reggie Ragland. So that was a good interception, and they held the New England Patriots around the second and third quarter. They held them to 0 points or maybe a field goal, and then that's when the fourth quarter happened and things started to go off a little bit. But in the beginning, from the coin toss, I knew that Tom Brady was going to win this game. When it comes to experience, when it comes to the greatest to ever do it in the Patriots, one of the best dynasties in sports history. I'm talking sports history. Nobody's ever dominated a league like the New England Patriots dominated the NFL since 2001. 2002. 2001, that's their first Super Bowl run with Tom Brady. Nobody has ever dominated a league like the New England Patriots for 18 years. I mean, that's ridiculous. And when it comes to experience, 8 straight AFC Championship games. This is now their 3rd straight Super Bowl run. And now you have the Kansas City Chiefs with a sophomore quarterback. You could arguably say he's a rookie quarterback. He didn't play last year besides a playoff game in which he lost. I believe he lost that game. So there's that. And you have, Andy Reid, who never does anything in the playoffs. He surprisingly done something in this playoff run here, beating the Colts, and then almost beating the New England Patriots. But from there on, as soon as the coin toss was made in overtime, and it was called heads by I believe it was Devin McCourty, and the call was heads, I knew right there and then that the Patriots won the game. You don't give Tom Brady the ball first in overtime in the AFC Championship game. You don't do it because he's going to do whatever he can to win the game. He's going to completely focus. He's going to manipulate your team. They ran the ball. They passed the ball through the game, through the drive, and then the final plays of the game, they ran it in with Rex Burkhead, and from there on, they won on. They're going to the Super Bowl now. So congratulations, all Patriots fans. Congratulations, Rams fans. Even though the Saints should have been in the Super Bowl, I'm gonna leave that aside. The Patriots deserved it. They won the game. There was no conspiracies, there was none of that stuff. There was some calls obviously that were missed and things like that, but it is what it is. So leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll leave a preview video on the Rams and Patriots Super Bowl matchup. I'll do a preview video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.